When I was a kid, my parents told me stories every evening before I went to bed. Sometimes these stories were memories from when they were young, a glimpse into a history that was both mine. Obviously, my existence was dependent on the way these stories played themselves out, and not mine. Obviously, I did not exist when these stories occurred. This is both the power and mystery of the past, a space that is always falling out of reach, beyond experience, yet also urgently connected to who I am now, and who I will become. I am deeply shaped by the lives my parents lived before I was born, by the experiences they had and the ideas they thought and the places they lived and the choices they made. So I listened closely when they told me their stories, hoping to pick up clues about who I was and who I might become. Other times my parents read me stories from books, and I suddenly could imagine the lives of other people, some of them real and some of them fictional, who lived in a different time and place from me, but somehow I could understand how their struggles could also be my struggles, how their lives could be mirrors in which I better understood my own life. One book in particular I remember was a children's Bible. The very first page showed a swirling darkness with bright light in the middle, and it had the words, "In the beginning." I remember one night after my parents put me to bed thinking about that picture and the words, the beginning. But what was before that? I tried imagining a moment right before, and then a moment right before that, and then a moment right before that, and then right before that, and before that, and I got so overwhelmed thinking about it that I started to cry. This question of why there happens to be something rather than nothing, and where that something comes from, and what that means for us has been asked by people at least as long as we have records of people asking questions. We are curious about where we come from, and different areas of study ask this question in different ways. The scientist Stephen Hawking begins his book, A Briefer History of Time, with the following chapter. We live in a strange and wonderful universe. Its age, size, violence, and beauty require extraordinary imagination to appreciate. The place we humans hold within this vast cosmos can seem pretty insignificant, and so we try to make sense of it all, and to see how we fit in. Some decades ago, a well-known scientist, some say it was Bertrand Russell, gave a public lecture on astronomy. He described how the Earth orbits around the Sun, and how the Sun in turn orbits around the center of a vast collection of stars called our galaxy. At the end of the lecture, a little old lady at the back of the room got up and said, "What you have told us is rubbish. The world is really a flat plate supported on the back of a giant turtle." The scientist gave a superior smile before replying, "What is the turtle standing on?" "You're a very clever young man, very clever," said the old lady, "but it's turtles all the way down."